Okay, this is the angle pairs maze practice, the one that looks like this. So here we have angle 1 in 118 degrees. So let's first go over the 6. So we have 6 angle pairs. So in the past we talked about vertical angles, okay, which would be angles that share the same vertex that are across from each other when 2 lines intersect or 2 pairs of opposite rays intersect. And then we have linear pairs, which are supplementary and adjacent. So these two would be a linear pair. Okay, then we have the angle pairs that are created by a transversal cutting through 2 lines, and in this case, parallel lines. So we have alternate interior, okay, which on our alternate sides of the transversal and in between the 2 lines. We have corresponding, okay, which is what 1 and 18 would be. They're in the same corresponding location. If we pick the intersection up and put it on top of the other one, 1 would be right on top of the 118. Angle 1 would be right on top of the 118. We have same side interior, which would be these two. They'd be inside the 2 lines and the same side of the transversal. And then alternate exterior would be like 118 and 2. Alternate sides of the transversal and outside of the 2 parallel lines. Okay. So here it's saying angle 1 equals blank because it is blank with 118 degrees. So we just said these were corresponding. Okay. Because they're corresponding and the lines are parallel, we can use the corresponding angle theorem that tells us if the lines are parallel, then corresponding angles are congruent. So if they're congruent, this one is also going to be 118. These should really this entire paper should say measure of angle, measure of angle, measure of angle, but they don't, but they should all say that. Okay, then we want to compare 2 with 118. Okay, those are alternate exterior angles. Okay, and our alternate exterior angle theorem tells us if the lines are parallel, then the alternate exterior angles are congruent. So this one is also going to be 118. Okay. The next one here, angle 1 and 72 degrees. These are alternate interior angles. Okay, the alternate interior angle theorem tells us if the lines are parallel, which they are, then the alternate interior angles are congruent. So that means this one will also be 72. The measures are equal. 2 and 72. Okay, these are same side interior, also known as consecutive. Okay, and those are supplementary if the lines are parallel. So that means they're going to add up to 180. So we do 180 minus 72 and we get 108. The last example here, or the third example here, we're comparing angle 1 and 127 degrees. Okay, those are vertical angles. They share the same vertex. Okay, we know all vertical angles are congruent, so this is going to be 127 degrees. Okay, then we want to compare angle 2 and 127. Those are corresponding angles. They're in corresponding locations. And we know corresponding angles are congruent when the lines are parallel, so this will also be 127. Right, corresponding angles, alternate interior, alternate exterior, are congruent, meaning their measures are equal when the lines are parallel. Same side interior angles are supplementary when the lines are parallel. Okay, and then vertical angles are always congruent, and linear pairs are always supplementary. Let's go down to the first kind of maze puzzle here. Probably got to zoom out so we can put the whole thing on the page. This is going to be, didn't think about this. It's going to be hard to do. Okay. You guys just have to listen. Let's see if we can. Okay. So 1 and 2. Okay, these are vertical. We know vertical angles are congruent, so this one is also going to be 110. Okay. Here we have alternate interior angles. Okay, and we know alternate when the lines are parallel, the alternate interior angles are congruent. So this again is going to be 110. Okay, 3 and 4 are a linear pair. They have the same vertex. They're adjacent to each other, so that's going to be a linear pair. We know linear pairs are supplementary, so we can do 180 minus 110 is going to give us 70. Okay, they're supplementary, so they add up to 70. I mean, they add up to 180. So 180 minus 110 is 70. Four and five, we can't see five, but five is up here. Okay. Those are corresponding. Okay. 4 and 5 here would be in the same location of each intersection, so they're going to be corresponding angles, so they're going to be congruent, so that's also going to be 70. Okay. 5 and 6 are alternate in exterior. Okay, so you should have had 70 here as well. Okay, and then 6 and 7 are alternate interior. So alternate interior angles are congruent, so that's 70. Okay, and then 7 and 8 are same side. So I'm going to put SS interior. Same side interior. We know same side interior angles are supplementary, so we do 180 minus 70 and we get 110. Cool. Did not know we could do that. Okay, so that's good for that one. Let's look at the other one. Okay, so 1 and 2 are a linear pair. So this is a linear pair. Okay, which means they're supplementary. So we do 180 minus 115, and that's going to give us 65. Okay, 2 and 3. So again, we imagine we have these lines going forever. So 2 and 3 are going to be same side interior angles. Okay, same side interior angle. So again, I'm just going to put SS, so same side interior. Okay, so they're supplementary. So we do 180 minus 65 is going to give us 115. And then here, 3 and 4 are alternate interior. Alternate interior angles are congruent. So the measure of angle 3 is 115. So the measure of angle 4 is also going to be 115. And again, we want to imagine these lines going forever. Okay, so 4 and 5 are corresponding. Okay, so they're congruent. So that's also 115. Okay, 5 and 6 going to be same side interior. So they're supplementary. So we do 180 minus 115 gives us 65. 7 and 6 are vertical angles. We know vertical angles are congruent, so that's going to be 65. Okay, 7 and 8 are a linear pair. So that switches back to 115 because 180 minus 65 is 115. Because we know linear pairs are supplementary. Okay, 8 and 9, we can't see 9 on there. But if you look on your sheet, those are going to be alternate interior angles. So here would be here, right? So 8 and 9 here are going to be alternate interior, and then 9 and 10 are going to be same side interior. Okay, so this is going to be alternate interior. So that means this is 115, and then we have same side interior. So the measure of angle 10 is going to be 65. Okay. That's the front side. Now we have to go to the back side. Probably can zoom in a little bit on this one. So the measure of angle 1 is 128. These are vertical angles. Okay, which means this is also 128 because vertical angles are congruent. Okay, 2 and 3 are alternate interior. Okay, so that means that's going to be 128. 3 and 4 are corresponding, so it's also 128. Okay, 4 and 5 are alternate interior. So again, we have 128. 5 and 6, okay, are corresponding, so it's 128. Um, 6 and 7 are alternate interior, so it's 128. Okay. 7 and 8 are a linear pair, so they are supplementary, so we have to do 180 minus 128, which is going to be 52. Okay, 8 and 9 are vertical, so that's going to be 52. 9 and 10 are same side interior. We know same side interior angles are supplementary, so it's going to be 128. 180 minus 52. 11, so linear pair. 10 and 11 are a linear pair. So they're supplementary, so it's going to be 52. 11 and 12 are alternate exterior, which are congruent, so this is going to be 52. Okay, 13 is corresponding. 12 and 13 are corresponding, so they're congruent, so that's going to be 52. 14 and 13 are alternate interior, okay, which are congruent, so that's going to be 52. 14 and 15 are a linear pair, so it's supplementary, so it's going to be 180 minus 52, which is 128. 15 and 16 are same side interior. Okay, so S interior. Okay. Which means they're supplementary, so 180 minus 128 is 52. Okay, and then 16 and 17 are a linear pair. Okay, so 180 minus 52 is going to be 128. Okay. Fairly straightforward. It's just identify and we know which ones, right? Vertical are congruent, alternate interior, if the lines are parallel, alternate interior are congruent, corresponding are congruent, alternate interior are congruent, corresponding are congruent, alternate interior are congruent. Linear pairs are always supplementary, vertical are always congruent. Same side interior, if the lines are parallel, are supplementary. Linear are always supplementary. Alternate exterior, congruent. Corresponding congruent, alternate interior congruent, linear pair supplementary, so 180 minus 52, and then same side interior supplementary, so 180 minus 128, then linear pair supplementary, so 180 minus 52 is 128. The second one there on the back doesn't fit as well. It's fine. We'll get up to 13 and then we'll figure it out from there. Okay, so let's look at 1 and 2. So they're a linear pair. So that's going to be supplementary, so 180 minus 48 is 132. Okay, so 132. Okay, 2 and 3 are same side interior. So this is going to go back to 48. What, right? 180 minus the 132 is 48. Okay, 3 and 4, alternate interior, so it's going to stay the same. Okay, 4 and 5 are corresponding, so it's going to stay the same. Okay, 5 and 6 are alternate interior, so it stays the same. 6 and 7 are linear pair. I'm just going to put LP for linear pair, so it's going to become 132, right? 180 minus 48 is 132. 7 and 8 are corresponding, so it stays 132. 8 and 9 are same side interior. Okay, so it goes back to 48, 180 minus 132, they're supplementary. 9 and 10 are linear pair, so it's going to go back to 132, right? Because 180 minus 48 is 132. 10 and 11. Okay, so imagine here's our transversal, here's our parallel lines. These are going to be alternate interior. Okay. So alternate interior are congruent, so that's 132. Okay, 11 and 12 are same side interior, so they're supplementary. So 180 minus 132 is 48. Okay. What are we on? 12 and 13? Okay, those are same side interior. Okay, so right, here's our two lines. So these are same side interior, so they're supplementary. So we'll do 180 minus 48 is 132. Okay, so those are same side interior. Okay, 13 and 14 then are corresponding. I'm going to do it over here. Again, these should all be measure of angle. Measure of angle. If we were doing it right. Okay, so 14 to 15 is, where's 15? Alternate interior, so it's going to, sorry, 13 to 14 are corresponding, so it's going to stay the same, so it's going to stay at 132. Right, and that is corresponding. Okay, now 14 and 15 are alternate interior, so they're going to stay the same. Okay, 15 and 16 are a linear pair, so it's going to be supplementary, so it's going to be 180 minus 32 is 48. They are a linear pair. Okay, 16 and 17 are corresponding, so it's going to stay the same. Okay, and 17 and 18 are also going to be corresponding. Okay. Corresponding. Okay, and that's the assignment. So we're good. That's only 20 minutes.